All right. Got it. I am so sorry for being late. So sorry. I had a special guest come into town, whole film crew, everything to record a promo for an upcoming thing. It ran over. I'm so sorry. And blame Marquet. But it wasn't Marquet's fault, really. It was a whole situation with traffic, and this we had to wait till the rain from, I guess Marquet brought the rain from Seattle. I don't know. Anyway, we had to wait till the rain quit to do the outside part, and but we got it. So made it all work. All right. So I've got lumber futures up on the screen for some reason. I don't even know why. Let's see. Let's change over to ES because this was pretty wicked. Look at that. You notice the big blue arrow down here. I said this last week. We could be heading down, and now it looks like it's going to happen. So I appreciate you all. Such great followers. All right. Who here, first time newbie? Because I am super sorry if you're brand new and stuck it out this long. So anybody at all? That was lumber I had up a minute ago. First time, Mark. Dennis, I'm sorry for being late. It's not my thing to be late, but I got tied up. I'm glad you're here. Let's give you 30 minutes of awesome. We're going to do some chart predictions and see what we can figure out here. So right now, looks like this big blue arrow is playing out. Now, I'm going to jump over to Discord real quick and grab another chart that I posted yesterday. Oh, right. Not that one, this one. Let's open this one. So I want to talk about this. So yesterday, if we had held the low from yesterday, it looked pretty bullish. And I warned that we could see a bounce up to this 4,300 area, right where this orange 4 is right here. Excuse me. And we might see a drop in a 5 that would go down to about 4,000. Right? So it looks like this is what's happening. So my little white count that was the most ideal count appears to not be playing out. And this orange count appears to be the current count. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, what the heck is a count, right? So this is a Elliott wave theory is what I have up here. It's a theory of how the market moves based on Fibonacci's and relationships between the moves and the pullbacks. So this right here, I had it labeled A, B. I had the white letters you see right here. That was my labeling that I had. And I kind of came up with this alternate possible count in orange. And I posted it on Discord yesterday without a whole lot of explanation. But right now, it looks like this is possibly what's playing out because right now, we had a bounce up to 4,300 overnight last night. Let's pull up the ES and look at that on a tighter time frame here. So last night, we came up right here to that 4,300 area that I was talking about before the close yesterday. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, right here. So I said in Discord, the white's my primary expectation. And as an alternate, I have orange with the offset candles, and the orange might prove to be the path. So don't get too risky with anything until we break above 4330 or 4350 area. And if we bounce at the 4300 area, which is what we did last night, we bounced down. If we bounce down at 4,300 area, and this was yesterday at 3:30 p.m., it might be the orange count. So it is highly looking like this orange count is the count. And where did the orange count go here? There we go. So we're looking at a move. And the target right now, that 4 is going to be down right in here. It's kind of locked in now. I haven't had time to update this chart. It's the first time I've been in the office today. But right now we're looking at probably a 4,000 minimum, probably a little lower than that since the 4 didn't quite go all the way up to this area. And well, it could go all the way down to 39. It's kind of a bummer. Now, what the move today is making it look like it's going to do this very quickly. So watch for this bottom. And I think I've had this on here for weeks too. This potential lower low situation. Last week I highlighted the 39.52 was the potential. If this was the A, the B, and this is going to be the C down, and it looks like that's the situation we're getting right here. Now, there could be a little micro 1, 2, 3, 4, and this could be the 5th extension right here. And we could wrap up with just a marginal lower low. It doesn't have to reach all the way down here. But show the chart with a white background. It's right here. All right. This is S&P 500. This is the ES S&P 500 futures. If you're not familiar, these trade almost 24/7. They'll reopen in 4 minutes. So there's like a close period between 5 and 6 p.m. So it's going to get started again here in about 5 minutes. Now, we saw this epic drop into the close here today. The last 2 hours of trading, it just plummeted out, right? I kind of got alerts along the way. Kind of had this initial drop from 9 a.m. to about noon time. And then we kind of, slight bounce, kind of messing around a little bit. And then we got this epic flush out. And see, this kind of happened in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 situation. So this was, again, like a 5-wave move down. So these 5 waves and 5 waves, they're going to combine out and wrap up this move here, hopefully soon. I'm really optimistic. This was kind of a small pullback right here that it did from yesterday afternoon into the close, into the overnight session, and then getting this flush. And, just proportionally, if this was the one from here down to here, let's do a little fib math and just see if there's a higher target that we might watch for support here. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so just think of, it's looking like we're gonna visit 4,000 at least. So the move down 1 is usually the same size as 5. So if this was a 1 that took, a couple weeks, and this was 2, and this was a 3 flush, 4, and this is going to be 5. Of course, this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 3. So there's a couple different counts that could be going on here. It's not perfectly crystal clear. Everything's not proportionally the correct size, and we're pushing the limits of what would be a 5 if this is just the 3 right here. And then we get a 4. It's a bigger bounce. Nope, that was not the one I wanted to move. This one's the one I want to move. So that one could be, and we might see a move down to this 39.50. We might see it, and it might happen this week. It could happen. It could wrap up by the end of the week. So, yeah. So support. Let me pull this up. So right now, we're at support for this move down, 41.36. We're likely to see some kind of relief retrace. Let me get the arrow tool. It looks something like this, maybe up to 42.50, and then we'll probably see this final move like this. All right. So we, there's like a potential, what about almost 300 points down? But then when we finally get that flush out, that's when it's going to go the other way. All right. There's 6 o'clock. Futures back open. All right. So that's what we got right now. All right. Any questions on ES before I move on? We're going to look at NASDAQ and Russell and all the things here. The price of the support, it was right there. Click that off. So we are at a current support around 41.36. That's where it kind of ended up down here, touching. We'll probably move up to about 42.50, maybe. Doesn't have to do that. And then we're likely to see this drop out. We have support levels at 4,000, 14 roughly. This is just kind of, I'm speculating a little bit based on where I think it'll pull back to. And then right around the 39.50 area. And that 39.50 matches up with what I had drawn on here last week with this oval. right there. See if I can get it to shrink up at all. Nope, not on a 30-minute time frame. Yeah, 39.52, and then 39.50 with that fib. I just kind of speculated where it might pull back to overnight down to here. So, all right. And these extensions down here probably won't happen, but 37.85 if it really got crazy. But I don't see it going that low right now. It's that'd be really stretching it. I mean, the market is super, like most participants are super bearish right now. And really, this drop is not. Let's zoom back out here just a little bit. Let's show you something. This was the, this was the housing drop, 07, 08. The market right now is more bearish currently than it was in that big drop. I mean, look at this little, see this little move right here? Even the COVID drop right here. Market participants are more bearish right now. And this move, clear it off here a little bit more. See that right there? We've only moved down a relatively small amount. Let's clear that. Let's compare this. So right here, this was the epic COVID crash. Look how far down we'd have to go. 31.50 to be even the same size as what we did there. In the market right now, market participants are more bearish right now than they were at any point during this. Look at this guy over here. This pullback, the housing crash, if we had a pullback like that, it would take us all the way down to 2,000 in the market. And right now, we're more bearish. The participants are more bearish than during that whole move down. So I think that people are overly bearish and overly positioned bearish, and then we're going to see a crazy bounce higher. So this is the way I see it. We haven't been this bearish since this move back here in the .com pullback. The housing pullback was about, looks like it's slightly bigger. Let's compare it right here. Yeah, just slightly bigger than the .com pullback. Eventually we're going to do that, but right now it's not the time. We got a little higher to go before we're going to do this giant pullback. The moves in here aren't complete yet. All right. Zoomer back up here. So how did I come up with the support I came up with? It comes back to Elliott wave theory, the corrective moves, and the A being right here, the B being here, and then the C being down here, just slightly off the chart. Zoom her up, pull her up. So it goes like this. It goes the 1 point, 2 point, 3 point tool right down there. All right, you don't got any sound? Let's see. Well, my sound shows it's moving. Might have to check. All right. Hi says there's no sound. All right. Everybody says well, they have sound. So hi. Somebody can, I guess, looks like. Let me reply to hi real quick. There we go. All right. So that's what we got right now on S&P. NASDAQ. Let's look at this one. NASDAQ made a lower low today. That was a big old flush out. So that count You know, the fibs I had on here don't count anymore. Nothing counts. That's not happening. This isn't happening. And this is going to be resistance still, even after this resumes. So what we got here. It definitely blew out the 2 possibility. So just not a good proportional move here. Let's look at what we got. Oh, all right. This is going to be it. Becomes more clear when you run the math on it. So this is going to be the target on NASDAQ right there. That is 11. I'll zoom it up here. 11,770. Still a ways down. That's where the ideal equilibrium comes in the market. It's where if we start with a 0 here and A move down, a B move up to the 618, and then a C move down, that's where it comes out right there. That can be pretty crushing on NASDAQ. That's what, another 1,300 points. Yeah, turn off the, yeah, I can turn off the pivots. They're kind of in the way. There you go. I can also turn off the little arrows. They're kind of in the way too. That's NASDAQ futures right there. That's big tech. All right. Yeah, well, everybody's hitting the sell button. Apparently, that's what's causing it to move down. We're still not anywhere near the proportions that we had just in this COVID move down here. And look at this guy. Oh, that one actually lines up pretty well. That would be an echo trade. if it's that support right there, that's an echo trade right there. Somewhere around that 11,500, 11,700. If we find support right in that zone, that's pretty fascinating. All right. Isn't that beautiful right there? That'd be an echo of the COVID pullback. That would be a powerful move right there. That could be a powerful setup. All right. Watch for support there. What happened in the market? You know, I was out filming all day. So let's go fishing to see what I think it's just a regular old flush out. So let's check out a couple things here. As you want to change the colors behind me, change it to a different color. All right. Let's go fishing for a little bit of news here. This is a news aggregator. If you've never seen this site before, Zero Hedge. They tend to be a little more on the bearish side, so take it with a grain of salt. But let's see if we can see anything in here that might have caused any kind of problems. Ooh, Alphabet missed on earnings. That wasn't too good. Down 7%. That drug NASDAQ down. That could have kicked it off right there. That was at 4:30, so that was after the market closed. So that's going to drag it down more tomorrow. And Deutsche Bank said something. Stellar demand, record low dealers, and blockbuster 2-year auction. Wrong. I'm just kind of like trying to check a few things here. Let's see. Bonds yields are also tumbling. Everything like it's a mass liquidation event, is what this is. When bonds are down, treasuries are down, yields are down, stocks are down, equities are down, gold's down, oil's down. Just a good old fashioned liquidation. Yeah, this is making comparison right here, like I was from 2002 to 2008. We're just getting started. It'd be if we do like we did in 2008, we're in for a much bigger pullback. So yeah, it's a lot of negative news. And like I said, when things get super negative, the market tends to do the opposite. So let's look through a few more things. I haven't, like I said, I haven't caught up with everything yet. Looks like Russell is making a lower low. I was kind of looking for that, expecting it. It needed a final flush out. Let's see, let's remove that fib. And compare this real quick. Oh man. Russell might visit this 185, but it is prime to start leading the market out of this. Watch for a possible bounce right in here. All right, crude. This is still my expectation on crude. Still looking for this move down here. Still on the path. And I'm expecting a move down to the 75 area. 83 minimum, 75 more likely. All right, gold. So it gets heading right down to that target area. And if it gets there faster, it's going to be a little lower right in here. Crypto, of course, taking a massive hit with NASDAQ. But interesting to note, it's not a lower low. NASDAQ up here, lower low, right? Looking back all of 2022, this is the lowest low today. Bitcoin didn't do that. All of 2022, that's a much higher low. Yeah, so we're gonna make like this sets it up for huge potential recovery gains. Just sets it up. And we know things were over. I mean, I've been talking about it since October that a lot of things with price to sales over 20 were way overvalued. That's the price of their stock versus the sales they actually have. So we haven't broken out yet, but it just sets things up for an opportunity. And Bitcoin holding this right here. And this actually, if we put it on the lows, it's still holding this trend line. And if that low was sticking through. So if I line it up there, we have 3 hits now. That's pretty positive, actually. And let's see, there's like a clone option somewhere. I don't think I clicked on the right thing. There it is, clone, control and drag. No, that didn't work. Sorry, quick key, that didn't happen. Let's clone it. There we go. So if we line that up right there. And so the next move I would expect in Bitcoin, and I talked about this in the Crypto Power Plays update for the week. If we bounced off of that, we can see a move back up into this area, which will put it back in the 50,000 area. And you know, what kind of time frame? Well, that could take out into the summer probably. I mean, look at these moves here. I mean, that if we just did the initial move here, moved it over. So we're looking at least mid to late May if it just happened to do this swift move up like it did in February. So yeah, Riot and Mara, like both, like that's almost to the target on Riot. It's probably going to this 1050 or 1030 level right there. I already had the arrow there. I mean, I've said it once before. It's probably going there. Mara, same situation, getting an extension down, kind of blew the immediate bullish pattern. It's gonna have to reset and get a whole new bullish pattern going, which is a real bummer. It's probably gonna hit 15, 20. I just look for support around 15, 20. All right. No, it's really odd though. That the miners are getting hit so bad. They must be some over exuberance on the miners here. Yeah. HUT likely to come back down to this $3 area. Pretty crazy correction on HUT. And we can pop up Hive, which Hive is likely to come down to $1.40, it looks like. So that's kind of the situation there. Ethereum, Ether, still maintaining it. I mean, it hadn't even come down to the trend line of the lows. So it's actually positioned better off than Bitcoin right now. And one of my favorite ones right now, ETC USD, just for the opportunity that it has, it's still maintaining a higher low than the trend line. So, all right. Natural gas. I know some of you are in natural gas. This one has it bounced right at the prior high. This one's set up to like probably get out to 904. Well, the way you can trade that with this UNG right here. And it got right out to the top of my arrow. Funny enough, hitting some targets. So we're pulling back. We've kind of pulled back, not quite to the prior high. We're setting up for another run out, probably to this 31, 32 area right up here. So that was the first expectation. The next move, now we've pulled back here. I expect this move right out here. Right out in there. All right. All right. So if you buy a long option, okay, do the trading platforms make you have a greater account balance if you hold overnight if it's an options trade? So if you have a margin account, like this is more of a complex question about how brokerages do it. So there is a minimum equity you have to have for a day trade. So if you buy an option trade for a day and sell it, they may not take the full, like while you're holding it, it may not deduct out of your account the full amount. And if you have a marginable account, some securities are marginable, some are not. Most options usually aren't, but that's not entirely true. It gets to be very complicated, and not every broker is the same. Now, if you're going to hold options overnight and they're long options, it's whatever you pay for it. If they're short options, it depends on the margin required for the position. So if you have a spread, whatever the max risk is in a cash account, they hold the whole value. In a margin account, they hold something like, depends on the risk of the trade. There's like an initial margin requirement of usually around 50%, sometimes as low as 30% of the risk on the trade. And as it gets closer to being in the money or being at risk, then they'll hold up to sometimes 120% of the risk value on the position. So, but if you're just long an option, your max risk is whatever you pay. Like if you're long a call, whatever you pay for that call, if you paid $1 for the call, your risk is $100. If you have 100 of them, then you multiply it out. If it's like $10,000. So if you have say you have a $5 call, you have $500 at risk per contract. Now, if you have a put, same situation. If you have a $5 put, it's $5 at risk. That's how much they're going to hold out as the max that you can lose for that. So hopefully that answers your question. It's not as straightforward as it maybe seems like it should be, but that's kind of the long and the short answer. I work at a lot of different brokers, and not everybody even does it the same. Like Tasty works different than E-Trade, works different than TD Ameritrade, works different than Interactive Brokers, and works different than Webull, and they're just all a little different. Although Webull and Tastyworks work similar because they both have Apex clearing in the background. That's gonna be the same for like Tradier and Webull and Tastyworks and maybe Alpaca. I don't know. I can't remember if Alpaca runs on Apex or not. Anyway, there's several people that run on Apex. You don't hear about Apex, but they're a clearing company that allows brokers to build platforms on top of their clearinghouse. All right. I like Apex. I always get some of the best fills on brokers that run on Apex. Highly liquid because they can match a lot of orders. So right now, this move up on UNG is what I'm looking for. All right. What do y'all got? What angle of the market do you guys want to look at? Yeah, so unfortunately, right now I can't be. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Right now, everything looks pretty darn bearish. Oh, market just reopened. We got a little green. So everything though looks pretty darn bearish to get to these lower levels until the only one that's not super bearish is this one. We could see a bounce $3 more, or I guess $30 more. Could be the bottom of Russell. A Russell represents about 1,800 stocks in that Russell 2000. They call it the Russell 2000, but it's really about 1,800 stocks. That's small caps. That's I don't have the ability to pop it up right at this very moment. I probably could if you're interested, but all right. ATHOF. I'm not sure what you mean by ATHOF. Excuse me. All right. The ticker. All right. Let's look at it and see what we got. I didn't mean to skip Apple. I'll come back around to Apple. I see a couple of y'all want to talk about Apple. We will come back to that in just a second. Hard to say. Hard to say. Let's turn back on Echo Trades, but let's make a change to it. So there's a good possibility that could have been the top right there, based on the market roadmap setup. This basically was kind of a bounce off the market roadmap, and this could be potentially a top until it retraces back to. I've never looked at this one before. It's kind of interesting. Could do this. And it could be a a three wave move down to here eventually. So yeah, I'd be cautious on that one, Monica. All right. General Steel Copper. You got the copper future? I don't know it off the top of my head. I can look it up though if we need to. All right, Apple crushing the market roadmap today, it looks like. Let's turn the other line of the market roadmap on. Yeah. Just not awesome. So if this is going to be the same proportion as NASDAQ, could see a move back to 147, which is where I right where I bought a bunch of shares before, back here. That looks like it might happen. It's kind of interesting that we get two back-to-back big correctives like that. Oop, wrong button. Wrong button. And so we did this big 1, 2, 3, and then That could be a bigger A, B, or that's actually an X, Y, Z type move. If that makes it down here, 147 area, that's an XYZ. It's a different kind of Elliott wave correction. I don't even think they have it on here. And oh, there it is. WXY. That's what it is. WXY. This move right there, that's one straight move with no pullbacks in it. That's an X wave. That's a connector. So, all right. Let's see. Make sure I didn't miss anything. So yeah, I think that we're likely to see that move back to that 11,000-ish area on NASDAQ. And then a lot of tech stocks, a lot of stuff can go super bullish at that point. All right, tickers. Charlie CP, Charlie Papa Bravo. Campbell Soup. I mean, that looked like a pretty good move right there. That's just shy of the target, assuming I clicked on that correctly. Check it out. Yeah, that was that same 1, 2, 3 ran out. Now there is the possibility. I mean, it held up pretty good today, all things considered. So we had this resistance right there for some reason. What am I talking about? Let's zoom it up. Zoom in right there. See how this candle, like you got a top right here, a top right here. It kind of goes like this. We had topping. That day didn't really make it. This day tried to push through, stopped there. This day retraced back. Next day popped right back up. This day moved up above it finally and left it. And now we came right back. We tested it yesterday. We tested again, kind of tested that area today. So it starts to make this zone like this. Now, I would put an alert below, right at 46, it looks like. If this pushes below 46 and we get a close below 46, then I would kind of leave it alone. But right now, if it starts pushing up at all, it's probably likely to at least get to this 48 level right there. If not, pushing on higher, this 50 level up here. And that can take, I don't know, out to sometime in May, probably. A couple more weeks. Could go pretty quick. I mean, it's been on a nice little tear. And it reminds me kind of like KR was ripping, kind of did this pullback and then ripped up again. It's pulling back again. So just couldn't beat that high so far. So that was probably it for the 5. That was probably the 4. See the other one, TSN. It's getting a little more pullback on TSN. Couldn't quite make a new higher high. But this one's got a 1, 2, 3. So bear with me a second. Yeah. Okay, Tyson holds right here, this 50% retrace. If it holds this general area and starts going up, well, it starts going up from right here. And we got to hold this zone right here. Yeah, right out to 102. And then Yeah, somewhere right in that zone would be the target on Tyson. That's without looking at a bigger pattern. Like that's just looking at this little move right there and comparing it against this move, which 105 would be the bigger time frame target. But it may stall out right there. All right. See, Marianne, I see your list there. Check to see if anybody has anything to say. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna spend a little bit with you guys because I'm sorry I was late, and let's just go through what you guys want to look at. So yeah, Google post market down here, definitely getting slammed. Looks like it's met that target. Probably going to the next target down. Probably heading toward there. It's not got a lot to go. Post market, we're already down to here. So we're only looking for a move. We're halfway there. All right. MSFT. Microsoft. Post. Whoa. Must have had good news. Look at that. Nice big jump. Did you give me all the earnings? Is that what you asked for, Marianne? So I was thinking they might bounce from up here. They pulled back, made a double bottom, classic double bottom pattern. Looks like they're gonna move up from there. Now we have a significant resistance built up now in this whole zone. So watch out right there. Watch out when we get back to the 300 area. And Delta Victor November. Yeah, that one's gonna pull back to the roadmap line, more than likely. Before it bounces, or it'll either find support there and bounce, or it's going to break down for a bigger retrace. Came out right out to the, couldn't do this, didn't get the strength to break on out. So all right. IBM, India Bravo, Mike. Oh, that's just being crazy. How long ago? I guess last I looked at this was probably January. It's gonna keep dancing in the box. It's been in the box for a while. There's the range, 113 to 145. It's gonna keep. I expect it to keep on trucking in there for a while. Nothing great to offer there. That's just sideways. Sideways inside action for months and months. Yeah, that's basically the range of 2021. And until it breaks out, that's where it's going to stay. UP. Is that right? No, UP. Yeah. No, UPST. Haha. Got it right. Upstart. Ooh. That don't look good. That's a market roadmap for a move lower. 61 is the target, at least, if not. Moving on down to 46. That's the downside targets. Watch for a bounce at either one of those. Works just the same as the upside targets. So we've talked about it since I came on the scene. And now we're actually seeing a few that have bounced down. And this one's bouncing down on the market roadmap. All right. Sorry, BT. Wish I had something better for you. Hopefully you're not long. Hopefully you're short in that one. All right. Shop. Shopify. Wow. That don't look too hot. Pop on out. That was an epic move. Unfortunately, support doesn't come in until maybe 180 or even 106. If you're trying to pick a bottom, that's a dangerous one to mess with right there. Now we could get a retrace back up and bounce off of this roadmap line. Could bounce like that, but it's still looking like on this weekly chart, that's what it looks like it's going to do. This would be a 1, and this is a 2. And then it's going to go crazy high if it's still in business. I mean, this is depending on where this thing bounces. Now, this could be potentially, hold on, hold up. Wait 1 second. Add a couple other lines here. Yeah, that's not. That was not it. It could find support at 308. Could. Still another 100 points down. The reason I don't keep those on is it doesn't very often find support there, but it did have a consolidation right there. So watch for it to find some support there. All right. Wish I had better to say there. I hate giving bummer news on some of these. I have a feeling like when you ask for it, you're kind of long or you're thinking about getting long. So NVIDIA, well, let's zoom it up and look at where the lines were. So I had support coming up at 173, then maybe 151, and then maybe 126. And looks like we're trucking right down there. Oh, the post market 185. Look at that. Right in the neighborhood. So that's the parameters. I guess the daily chart's what we need to be looking at. Post down here 185. Might see a move down to 173. If 173 doesn't hold, 150 and then 126. All right. EMD. Looks like it's almost to the target there. Up post market right at it. We break below that, like 68 is the next move down. And it bounced off the roadmap. Bounced down. There's probably another level in here. Could be 74. Like it gets to be a whole bunch of levels in here. In this whole area. Can bottom anywhere in here. It's a little bit stronger potential bottom. Google back above 2300. No, it's down here at 23. Like it closed at 2373. It's at 2294 and 2300 here. It closed at 2390, not 2300. It's down about 100, almost 90 points, something like that. I still expect it down at 2230 at least. All right. QQQ about even. Let's see. Oh, yeah, down a point. That's 10 points on NASDAQ. Nasdaq's up. It gapped down and it's back to where it started. 1,300. Now this one, you know, wait, big picture. Now, ideally, like for market symmetry, it needs this 11,700. Technically, any point right now, it can reverse. The fact that it made a lower low today, or today, you know, today's when I say today, I mean the day that we just closed, not the new trading day that just started at 6 o'clock Eastern. This move lower right here can be the bottom. Like that can be it. Like it does not have to make any move further lower. That can complete the pattern right there. Let's see. Let's turn out a couple other fibs here. This is why I keep these on here. Yeah, a 618. That can be it. That can be the end. That lower low right there. This right here. That can be it. It's entirely in the realm of possible that this was the end. We can bounce from there. Like this, that may have been it. That possibly completed the flush out. We didn't get that lower low on ES yet. If it doesn't get a lower low, that's going to be quite shocking. I think it still has a 4 or 5 to go. NASDAQ can be done here. Russell can also be done here. All right, so be careful. This thing can be crazy and volatile and dangerous. All right. GM. That's why it's so difficult right now to, when you're in corrections, it is incredibly difficult to predict where we're going. Do that right. Which one is that? Yeah. Pushing the limits there. That was a higher high there, so those two patterns aren't applicable. This thing, it broke out of the bottom, so we're in a bigger correction. And I'm not gonna like this if you're long. Could find support here, not likely. More likely to be this zone right here. Let's make that back to the right colors. That's more likely to be it. Right in there. All right. That's GM for you. Yes. Hey, I was one of their truck orders. You know what they told me I was going to get my truck? Let's make a guess. Let's make guesses. Who wants to guess what model year they told me that my Silverado? I ordered the first day, like a couple hours in. Couple hours in. You know what? I'm going to get a 2025. A 2025. So, and my Silverado I put the money down for is a 2025. I'm not going to get one for a couple of years if I ever get one. Yeah. So crazy's right. They've sold more of those trucks than they're planning to make for years. All right. I see a lot more requests. I'm going to start burning through a few. Okay. I'm behind about 30 messages. So XLU looks like we're getting a bigger pullback. Yeah, that one can retest just a bit lower at 71. If that doesn't hold, All right. Let's clear some fibs. Remove. All right. Why did I say 71? Look right here. Right around there. That's going to be support. That doesn't hold. We're going to test the roadmap line. All right. Covered IBM. Let's see, CEM. That one's holding up really well, actually. So back here to the, it's made a roadmap pattern back here. We bounced down. It's, oh man, look at, this is like classic price action. Retest of here, next move out. You know, if it doesn't hold right here, roadmap line, but if it does hold right there, next fib out is 44 area. It looks like it bounced today slightly. Man, that sucker held up for a crap day in the market. This one held up really well. This is a high dividend yield pair. If you want to know what I'm talking about, check this out right here. Dividend yield 7.1%. The dividend due in May, 60 cents, which is a heck of an increase from 49 cents. So this one potentially has a setup to do that right there. All right. PM, Philip Morris. Yeah, so still on the path. Looks like I drew this for somebody a few days ago. Likely to do that. 116 and back down to 93. KR I showed a minute ago. Hopefully you were paying attention. I don't know if I did a prediction on it, but looks like it's going to retrace back to the roadmap line. It did the 5, so likely to do this right back to the roadmap line around 50. All right, did Google a couple times now. PEP. If you are just now joining me, check out YouTube, jeffrytrader.com/YouTube. It'll have the replay. PEP. If it can break out of 177, looks like we're going to 183. This one's holding up really well too. Pepsi and Coke tend to hold up really well even in crap markets. It's consolidating right here high. The next breakout, if it doesn't just take a dump here, it's poised to go higher. Pepsi, here's Coke. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. That bounced right off the roadmap line. Now it's hitting the extension. Might pull back to 63, and then I expect to move out to 70. That was really nice right there. Whatever reason, even in crap markets, Coke and Pepsi tend to hold up well. Watch for that move in Coke. Set some alerts around at 60, maybe 63, 50, 64. That's right at 64.85 post market. So yeah, that one can bounce and go fast. All right. And I looked at Microsoft. Yeah, 282. That's what the little arrow. So looking for a bigger move up to this orange box on Microsoft. All right. XBI, it's home builders, right? No, biotech. Biotech, yeah, right down to the limit there. If it didn't hold there, then it's probably going to revisit the lower low situation around the 63, 68 area. So watch out for that one. All right. That one's holding up really well too, considering all things considered. But if it can't bounce here, it's either going to bounce here and retest the roadmap line. Coming down over here. Or it's going to go lower low. Netflix is a piece of junk right now. Already hit the target. Already hit the extension target. Wow. 137 is like the next move, next up. There's the next target. This zone right there. The behemoths do fall. And really, grand scheme of things, it's not even anything. Could see a return to 42. Sounds crazy. Sounds crazy, but how many times do my crazy things come true? You see a bunch of these arrows I've drawn on here in the last few months that we're hitting. So, all right. There's Netflix, ABBV, ABV. Looks like consolidate. I mean, consolidate right on that fib line and break out higher, maybe. See, they're going to break out or break down and retest the roadmap line. Yeah, perfect head and shoulders. I don't know which one that was. There's a lot of those going around, though. Perfect head and shoulders. BBIG looks like horrible. Horrible. Yeah, right back down there. It's got to break out this roadmap line. It keeps maintaining below the roadmap line. It's got to break out. Like it hasn't been able to for all year so far. Okay, let's change it up for just a second. This one has an amazing potential right now. But on a day that things got murderized, it gapped up and closed higher with a red candle, higher than yesterday. You know, post market, we're down just a hair, 510, overlapping yesterday. But this one right here has what's called a gamma squeeze potential. Now, it does need to get through the roadmap line. This is like critical, a critical thing that needs to happen. This needs to break up through here and stay up here on a daily close basis. And then 20 is like my kind of conservative target here. But really like 34 would not be out of the question if it can break it, if it can get above this line right here. Like this high, it's got to get a daily close above like 7. Now, when I say gamma squeeze potential, that means there's a ton of options purchased on this. There's a ton of short done on this, but this is a piece of crap company that makes no money and has a ton of shares. Now, it's kind of not huge, but you know, it does have a ton of shares. It doesn't make any money. Has, you know, projected losing money. So just watch out if you choose to do it. I have 40 options at the $10 strike out to June. And 10's up here, way up here. But if we get this move out to 20 or 30, they could pay off significantly. So right now it has that potential where the more options that are purchased, the more exposure market makers have, and the more they have to buy it to hedge the more they have to buy stock to hedge their position as the price goes higher, which market makers buying stock creates more demand for stock, which creates higher prices. So it has like this self-feedback loop. Plus, it's a giant short squeeze, so people can get squeezed out of it and have to buy shares to close their position. And it just right now has potential. It may not be, it may not go. It doesn't have to go. It didn't break out here. It can just go lower low here. So has a high potential to fail. I have like 30 cents a contract into my June $10 calls. So that's my potential mega play right there. All right, I did BBIG, Facebook. Well, and we got hit in the street too right there. Obviously haven't run fibs on it in a little while. Yeah, so Next support. Oh man, look at that post market. It's at the next support, 173. They're saying that this one could be the next Netflix hit. So below that, 130, like this low from COVID low is going to be the next support. All right. Google. What happens next? Lower low, Marianne, on Google. Marvel, MR. I'm not going to catch up to y'all. We're going to be here all night. I've definitely gone longer than 30 minutes. So it's my apology for being late. And I know it's an epically bad day and everybody wants to know what's going on. So I'm going to hang out with y'all for a little bit longer. Then go see what's up with my father-in-law. All right, so Marvel, if we get some extensions lower here, not looking too hot. Let's turn off that one, that one, that one, that one. Just to get to the 100% there, 47. So that one can pull back some more. Doesn't have to. That could be it, but it could. This could have been the ABC over here. We could bottom at 52. So anywhere in this area, whoop, right around there. All right, JCI. JCI. Nope, there's my wife. Hold on 1 second. All right. We're going to wrap this up here in just a few minutes. So I'm going to try to get through the rest of everything, catch up with it right here. MELI. Yeah, it looks like support's down here around 900. We bounced down off the roadmap line. It's right there, 788. All right. I am still in CEM. I had the 3294 entry. All right, shop. Did AMD, did Google, NQ, BSX. Oh, I hit the extra button there. BSX. If it doesn't, like, so it needs to hold here. If it doesn't, it's probably going to retest this support zone right there. If it holds here, it can go higher. If not, it's going to pull back. Amazon. So support zone right there. All right. Yeah. So that's Amazon for right now. It could go lower down to this 24 area. Let's see. WDC. Yeah, so held up rather well today. Be looking for a move up to the roadmap line. If you can break above, then we can see higher prices. But right now, it's still in a downtrend. Got to hold that. All right, ST. Oh, hey, that's probably hitting targets here. Yep. Found resistance. It's probably pull back a little bit further and then try for another breakout. Like that. All right, Twitter. Yeah, so I talked about this in the in the market roadmap. This one is set up to get a run up in this area. All right, Tesla. Yeah, so getting a pullback. That could be corrective, and we could see a lower low down in this area. So it could pull back to 600. if it really got going, but it can find support in here. It's got this trend line going right there. All right. ZEV. That one's going lower. Probably gonna make a lower low. Probably down to $3.50 area. AMD and lower. All right, GEL. It's got an uptrend. Well, it's kind of a channel. Yeah, channel worked on that one. Break down another channel. We can see a return down to this area, $8. All right. Yes, I'm gonna wrap this up here in a minute. Yep, that was almost to the target. Well, looks like after hours it might be hitting the target. I predicted 113. If that doesn't hold, 97. I predicted that however long ago I was using red arrows. That was a while back. So I think I predicted that back in October, maybe. URA. All right, I'm caught up to the chat here. Getting a little pullback to the roadmap line. Expecting a bounce here. Just matched yesterday. And then INTC. Yeah, probably going to pull back. It broke the trend line of the lowers just slightly. If it doesn't recover tomorrow, it's probably going to come down here to around 43. LEC, this last one. And we're probably going to retest the lows here. Just looks like what's going to happen. That's the line. If it breaks below that, I'll have to make a new prediction. But right now, 2470 area is, 2475-ish is the support. DIS, I just did that. 113 is the support. Below that, down to 97. Below that, down to 80. They made a critical political error in challenging Florida. Wasn't too smart. All right, everybody. I'm not going to sell you anything today since I was late. I'm going to wrap it up. So sorry I was late. I'll be back with you again on Discord. Yeah, I got to go see what's up with Kim. She was kind of upset. So I got to go. See everybody later. Thanks for watching. See you guys.